information leaked by Edward Snowden indicates that the NSA is collecting our contacts from our email address books. Now, this includes all the contacts that we collect and we save, and of course they use these contacts to draw connections between people that could be potential terrorists. Now, just to give you an idea of how widespread this is among the TSA, if you look at a single day last year, the NSA Special Source Operations Branch basically saved about 444,743 email address books from Yahoo, 105,068 from Hotmail, 82,857 from Facebook, 33,697 from Gmail, and 22,881 from unspecified other providers. Now, I should note that one of the reasons why they seem to target Yahoo the most is because Yahoo still does not encrypt their email. They're planning on doing so in January of next year. That's pretty disastrous. Google has been doing that, or Gmail has been doing that since 2010. But
I just want to jump in to clarify one important thing there. That's not over the span of a year. The numbers you just saw, as Anna said, just one day. So they collect that kind of records day in, day out, and they often keep them.
Unbelievable. It goes further than that. So if you use any type of chat service, they're collecting your contacts on that chat service as well. Each day, the NSA collects contacts from an estimated 500,000 buddy lists on live chat services and inbox displays of web-based email accounts. So this is something that might not be that surprising to you. When the Washington Post broke this story, I wasn't really that surprised about it. I thought, well, isn't that what they were doing anyway? But the most fascinating aspect about this story is what they're doing would be completely illegal if they were doing it on U.S. soil. But they found this tricky, pizzicky little loophole where they will go on foreign soil and they'll invade our privacy, and it's totally okay. So, for instance, according to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, it was enacted in 1978, it imposes restrictions only on electronic surveillance that targets Americans or takes place on U.S. territory. Now, a lot of this surveillance does not take place on U.S. territory. Usually they work with providers on foreign land to collect this information. And if they were to collect this information on U.S. land, they would have to get approval from Congress. But since they found this loophole, they don't need the approval from Congress.
So that gives you a sense of what's going on here with the NSA. You know, so all those suckers who say like, oh, no, they're just following the law. It's all okay. They're just going after terrorists, which, you know, we'll get into their comments on that in a second. No, you don't get it, man. They're trying to invade your privacy in every conceivable way. They're either going to do it illegally under Bush, so-called legally under Obama, but they don't give a damn. And there's this thing, they call themselves the Five Eyes, which sounds awesomely creepy. So all the English-speaking countries, well, not all of them, but of course the ones that were part of the colonial empire way back in the day, U.S., Britain, obviously, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, right? Those are the 5 countries that cooperate together. And basically what they're doing here and in other cases is, and I predicted this from day one, as soon as I read about the Five Eyes, they spy on one another so then they could turn the information over. And you go, well, I didn't spy on Americans, New Zealand did, and they happen to give me the info, right? Or I intercepted that information elsewhere in the world, right? And then the British turn around and go, we didn't spy on our own citizens. The U.S. did that for us and then gave us the information, right? And they're doing this in 800 different ways and loopholes. This happens to be one of the loopholes. So we're just catching them one by one in all the different ways that they're exploiting these loopholes to spy on all of us.
So 2 quick points. You know, it goes back to the whole debate about whether or not Edward Snowden is an American hero, whether or not he actually did something beneficial for Americans. And I mean, as this information continues to trickle in and you realize what the government is doing to violate our privacy, I feel like there's no question he's an American hero, leaving a cushy job, leaving a very comfortable life, going to Russia where his fate is really unknown, to be honest with you. And now we know exactly what kind of information, how much information the NSA is collecting on us. And the NSA will always make the point that, hey, you know what, this is no big deal because if you're not a terrorist, you have nothing to worry about. Except if you decide, okay, maybe I don't want to be the average American, maybe I do want to be a rabble-rouser, or maybe I do want to question authority. You think that the government isn't going to use some of the private information they collected on you to intimidate you? That's where the problem lies. It's a way of keeping Americans complacent and intimidated.
And remember the story we did about Joseph Nacho, who was the CEO of Quest. And before 9/11, on 2001, the Bush administration came to all these different companies, Verizon, AT&T, and Qwest, and said, all right, give us all your private information, even though it's illegal, right, of your clients. And Nacho said, no, I'm not going to do that. Next thing you know, this company stopped getting government contracts. The stock price tumbled. Then they said, oh, you did insider trading because you sold at some point before the stock price tumbled, and they put him in jail for 4.5 years. But yet we always say, oh, no, they won't use this for political purposes. No, it's not about in the future. They've already used it for political purposes. Now they have so much more personal information than they did back then. Of course they're going to use it for political purposes. The whole thing is political.